a quiet little town, where nothing extraordinary ever seemed to happen, lived a 32-year-old man named Ethan Walker. To the outside world, Ethan was just another face in the crowd, a factory worker who clocked in, clocked out, and blended into the background. But deep inside him, a dream he had carried since childhood lay dormant, a dream he had buried so thoroughly that even he had almost forgotten it existed. Ethan wanted to build things, not machines, not tools, but ideas, stories, creations that could touch hearts and stir souls. But life, as it often does, has a way of pushing our deepest dreams into the quiet corners of our minds. His mother fell sick. His father lost his job. The bills piled up like insurmountable mountains. So, Ethan did what he had to do. He traded his passion for a paycheck. Every morning, he would walk into the massive, echoing factory, instantly swallowed by the overwhelming noise, the immense pressure, and the cold fluorescent lights that seemed to drain the color out of everything, including his own life. The work was hard. The days were long. But what hurt him more than the physical exhaustion was the profound silence inside him. It was the silence of a dream slowly, painfully, dying. One evening, after another long and draining shift, Ethan found himself walking past a playground. He stopped and watched. Children were running, laughing, falling down, and getting right back up again, their faces filled with a fearless joy. And in that simple, beautiful moment, something inside him clicked. A thought, so simple yet so powerful, pierced through the noise in his head. When did I stop trying? When did he stop getting back up after life knocked him down? That night, Ethan sat alone in his small, quiet apartment. He stared at a blank notebook. The very same one he had used as a teenager to sketch out his wild ideas and fantastical stories. His hands trembled. His heart pounded in his chest. It wasn't because he was afraid to start, but because he was terrified of what he might discover if he dared to try again. What if the magic was gone? What if he had nothing left to say? Despite the fear, he picked up a pen, and for the first time in what felt like a lifetime, Ethan wrote. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't confident, but it was honest. Raw. It was a piece of his soul, finally allowed to breathe. He wrote every single night, after work, the words flowing out of him, filling the silence that had haunted him for so long. Sometimes he wrote until the first light of sunrise crept through his window. Slowly, page by page, the fire inside him, which he thought had been extinguished forever, began to glow again. The pages piled up. The ideas grew bolder, and the deafening silence of his soul transformed into a hopeful spark. Months went by. With a mix of hesitation and a sliver of hope, Ethan decided to share one of his stories online. He posted it and tried not to think about it, fully expecting it to disappear into the vastness of the internet. He expected nothing, but the world had a surprise waiting for him. The next morning, he woke up to hundreds of comments. Messages flooded his inbox from complete strangers, people from different walks of life, all telling him how his writing had helped them heal, how it had inspired them, how it gave them a glimmer of hope in their own dark times. Ethan cried that night. Not tears of sadness or overwhelm, but tears of profound realization. He finally understood something he had long forgotten. Even the smallest of dreams, when shared, have the power to change big lives, including his own. His life didn't transform overnight. He didn't quit his factory job the next day. He didn't become a famous author in a week. But he did something more important. He kept showing up. He kept writing, every single day, building his dream quietly, brick by brick, in the stolen hours of the night. And slowly, steadily, that dream he had buried so long ago became the very thing that lifted him out of the life that had once trapped him. Years later, Ethan became a full-time writer. His books found their way into the hands of thousands around the world, offering comfort, inspiration, and a reminder that it's never too late. But whenever people asked him the big question, how did your life change so dramatically? He would simply smile and give the same answer every time. It changed the moment I found the courage to start again. And that is the powerful message hidden inside a story. And it's hidden inside yours too. You don't have to be fearless to begin. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to have the entire path mapped out in front of you. You just need to find the courage to take that first small step, and then trust yourself enough to take the next one. Because your story is not stuck. Your life is not over. Your dreams are not dead. They are just waiting patiently, quietly, for you to return to them. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more content that inspires.